That is odd. It says in the green. It says live, but yes, it does say the slide. All right, let's try. Oh, now I see it.
Oh, here it is. Now it just popped up.
There we go.
Yeah, just
There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Don't really know what happened, but we went out for a second or two there, and we're back. And I don't know. I don't know how much we heard, how much we lost. But anyway, we've ended Act 1. They've escaped. We're beginning Act 2. That was just for dramatic tension, obviously. We were just. So you guys are escaping through these tunnels. You're out of combat. You're running. The sounds of battle fade away, and you're pretty sure you've got most of the kids. All the ones that you saw in the courtyard, at the very least.
Well, and hopefully, I lost his name.
Draven.
But no, Mutt's cousin got other
Mickey.
kids out the hole while we were visiting Draven.
Yeah, and you hope that Mutt himself was also involved in that because he was still at Mutt's Hole, which was, in another part of the castle.
Is the dragon? How close are we in terms of the dragon illusion still?
Yeah, I think you lost me just at that point, but Draven has lost his concentration.
Okay.
And he is.
Yeah, no line of sight,
no line
right?
of sight on it, yeah.
Right. Okay. So where are we going with all these children? We're just sitting ducks.
Where does this hole lead exactly?
Draven says, to my apartment in the city. It's not big enough for all of us, but we might be able to hide there for a little while.
Well, all right. I guess we know where we're going then.
Is it daytime out, Will? Like, could we hold out till night?
You don't? Sorry, no, of course you know. You haven't been in the tunnels that long. Yeah, it is daytime. It's getting towards evening, though.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. We could just hold out till night, and then we could sneak out in the dark and get everybody to safety.
You mean hide in the tunnel, or do you mean hide in the apartment?
I feel like we're gonna have to hide them both. There's lots of us.
Good point. See, I'm just a little bit afraid because Rufus, I'm so sorry, but you know how back there I made like a big explosion so that it would cave down and the guys could come in. I had to use the last of your thigh oil to do it. I hope you're not mad.
Oh no, it's okay. It's all right. There are other things I can arm myself with.
Okay, good. Okay.
Oh, Rufus is like, don't worry. That's the least of our concerns.
Let's not explore that.
yeah. There's other stuff.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I'm worried. I'm not really familiar with how it spreads or anything. That's more Zephyr's thing. So I'm worried it might, fire might spread in here. The longer we wait, the closer we're probably going to get to some sort of fire. So we might want to start walking.
I thought you were talking about thigh oil. I was going to say, I don't know anything about that.
No, arson. I'm talking about arson.
Okay, let's walk. Let's go. We should be moving because your explosion's probably it's gonna let them know that we was there and that there's a tunnel.
It's only a matter of time, says Draven. They're going to follow this tunnel back to my apartment, and by that they're going to burn the whole place down. We can't hide there.
Well,
I think
Well, we can't just stay here. So I say we start moving and we can talk while we move.
Oh, we're supposed to be going to Mutt's basement.
yes.
I remembered.
Look at you.
We should do that.
What side of the city is Matt's basement at?
It's near the docks.
Yeah, it's like,
correct?
east side.
Correct.
East side,
Yeah.
yes, because our good friend Zephyr came in off a boat. I came in from behind the bar.
True.
Then we're going to have to get them all across the city somehow.
Well, Mutt has tunnels too. We probably just need to get to those tunnels.
Well, that's the sewer. But that could work, as well as, remember, hopefully our good friend Fidget the Gnome has, in fact, spread word about his party, a big masquerade party with everyone wearing masks. And perhaps between your illusions and the magic of even these students are young, perhaps they could help us to create the illusion that we are just partygoers toward this festival Mardi Gras that is being put on by our friend Fidget the Gnome.
Perhaps most of them look scared or aren't very good at magic, in my opinion. Depends how much time you want to waste doing something like that.
No. How many total are we? Like strong? Can we get a head count?
Yeah, you guys can, stop and do a head count here. Like, the kids can only run for so long.
Right.
So, you probably run for like half an hour and the adrenaline starts wearing off, and like the youngest kids need to stop running, and the ones that are carrying them need to stop. Yeah, you've got 93 kids here, and the total number is 94 with Draven.
With Draven. Okay. That's a lot. So first off, buddy system. Find a buddy. If your buddy goes missing, let us know. That's a lot. There's no way we have enough masks, and it's believable that this tiny 6-year-old is at a party with drugs because we delivered them.
Oh, maybe we can stack the tiny ones on top of each other and put a big coat around them.
Wait a minute. Fidget the gnome. He's only like 3 feet tall. Some of these kids are the same size. Now, Will, this is once again me stretching the bounds of what could possibly work, but if these are year 1 kids, they probably know a cantrip, right? Or cantrips.
Yeah,
correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, they know some like basic hand magic. Prestidigitation, light,
Minor illusion.
Minor illusion.
And let's roll for the kids.
Okay.
You got some younger ones here. Let's just like give them an Arcana check. They got proficiency but nothing else. So yeah, these kids like you've
Good school, man.
Yeah, it's a good school.
Private school.
The parents are getting what they pay for. Okay.
These kids really have gone to Ivy League.
Zephyr says, "All right, everybody, put a mask on. Make it flowery. Make it whatever you like. Cover as much as your face or as little of your face. Make sure the eyes are covered, and bring it down a bit. Maybe cover the ears so you can't tell exactly what type of. You might be a gnome. You might be a halfling. There you go. Everyone should have a mask now.
It'd be a fun game that we can all play together." And he drops his Esmeralda and makes his normal glorious Miguel self with a big, huge, giant. I mean, like we're talking like drag queen headdress type thing, and it probably bumps the top of the. Oh no, it's an illusion, so it doesn't bump. It just kind of like runs into the top of the tunnel.
Nice. Yeah. Some of the kids look super confused. Like, one of the kid like tugs on your sleeve and is like, "Miss Esmeralda, why do you look like that? Oh, you're in disguise?"
Yes, see what fun it is to be in disguise. It is a big party that we are all going to, and this is how we are going to just go and think of Midsummer Festival that we have back at the school. I'm totally making this up.
I saw Professor Dickens die.
You know what, kids? Can I tell you something?
You got hit with a sword in the face.
I did, to save somebody's life. You see, I'm not gonna lie to you. We're in lots of trouble, and we're trying to make sure you all get out. So
I watched Tommy murder a guy with a stone.
I know.
That was a good shot, I will tell you that.
I smashed a man with my belly. It's a hard life we live. So what
does that mean?
What I'm trying to tell you is illusion, so that we can.
I've heard about that. I've heard about the bellies and the birds. The birds and the bellies.
It's a hard world we live in, kids, and today's the night you got to grow up. All I need for you to do is prestidigitate a mask on your face, and we're going to sneak you out of the city. But you got to magic. Can you magic?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Farron is like,
oh, come on, you gotta give her advantage. And smash someone with your belly.
A 15.
Yeah, the kid kind of like, he like slaps his tummy, like his tiny little tummy. He's like, okay, I can do that. I can smash someone with my belly.
I know you could. So you just mask and smash. That's tonight's theme. You mask up, you smash up, we're gonna move.
Today's game of Smash or Mask.
As soon as Rufus moves away, Zephyr leans down to the little boy. Don't attack anyone with your belly at all. Run. You make the mask, and there's trouble, you run. You don't try to attack with your belly.
I hug Rufus for that whole speech. Miguel just is like, you are the most glorious creature I've ever met in my entire life.
Coming from a man that can wear a headdress like that, that's saying something.
I do look good in it, do I not?
You look smashing, and not belly smashing, just normal smashing.
Like fists.
Like, yeah. Just going nowhere. What are we moving? Let's move.
Let's keep moving. Yes.
Keep walking.
And we get right back to learn by play shenanigans.
All right, so you head down these tunnels, and the kids now masked. You've already stopped here for 10, 20 minutes or so. They set off again at a slower pace. There's probably like a light jog at best. You got to only move as quickly as the smallest kid, and you can only carry so many of them. But you do eventually make it back after another hour or so. So these tunnels are pretty extensive. It's like an hour and a half until you make it back to a ladder. Draven runs up it and checks out the place, and you see that he pops his head down. It's clear. Come in. It's room for enough of you to stay. Some might have to stay down here in the tunnels for a little bit. I could make some room in the attic, I suppose. And he lets you guys up into his, it's an apartment. When he said apartment, he did mean like super big manor, creepy house. So you're basically in Snape's haunted house right now. Big, long corridors. He's got like an east and a west wing. This guy clearly's got money. He's clearly got a lot of wealth, and he's got all sorts of magical artifacts and items lying around in this place. It doesn't look like anyone else is here, but he does have a butler who looks very surprised. Oh, Master Draven, I'm very surprised to see you with children here. And Draven says, yes, this never happens. Draven says...
Okay, we lost Little Red.
That's just his face going. Draven says, yes, well, they'll be staying with us for a little while, but not for long. We have to get them out of here. Yeah, yes, of course, I'll make room in the attic. Yes. So he goes up and starts like clearing some space. There's space. They don't want them staying on like the nice rugs and the nice sofas and the nice bedrooms. So it's not a very kid-friendly house. But like the kids kind of fill out into this place. You're clearly in a nobles district, which is a little bit more run down than it has previously been, as wealth has definitely declined away from the nobility, and just basically it's been an economic decline in Neverwinter since the Wars of the Undead. So, but nonetheless, Professor Draven, he's got some cash on him. He kind of sits down. I guess you guys some refreshments. Well, the butler brings the refreshments. Draven hands them to you. So, the children seem to be sorted out for a bit. I've got time to rest here, I think. It's getting dark.
Listen.
So this party might be a goer.
Yes, perhaps we should put an ear to the ground to hear if, in fact, Fidget was able to spread the word, and it will be the celebration that we're hoping it will be, and can give us cover for our evening escape. But until then, I think we just have to bide our time. Unless I look to my party members, there is something more we should be thinking of that I have forgotten.
Do they know you live here?
Who?
The paladins.
The Wardens.
No! Yes, of course. Do they know you live here? Because they may come here.
Thought you meant the children. They have no idea. They've never been here before. No, this, I imagine they do know. It is my registered address for receiving all owls from, so it's likely that they'll just look on the list and see that I'm here. It might not be long.
Yes, perhaps we...
Set up... somebody's got to keep watch, or at least we've got to set a few traps near the front door.
Rufus says, have you seen Home Alone?
Right, yes, we've got lots of lost children.
It's like
Not
Home
just
Alone
one.
times 93.
I'm just saying, it might be a good idea for us to, take, I don't know, shifts or something. Right, Captain?
Watching
know how it
outside
works?
would be a good idea, I think, to see if there are any wardens coming along, and someone should keep an eye down in those tunnels as well.
Do you
Are there
think I
any,
should-
Go ahead.
Should I go make an appearance as Esmeralda somewhere else in the city?
So I have thoughts on that. Your like little amused, your illusion stuff. How long does it last? Could we cast it on a dead body?
It is only for myself, unfortunately.
Oh, well then, You go for it.
I am the master of illusions here. Perhaps it would be better that I do that.
Oh, well, that's my idea. If we make her look like she's dead, they stops looking for her. And then Pretty Man here, he's safe. We don't have to worry about them trying to kill him neither.
I think we want them to think that she is alive so that they perhaps chase her, thinking that she is the key to the final escape. Do you know if they are aware of the plan to, or these portals, or Avalon, or any of those things? Is that something that the archives might have had record of?
He kind of like shrugs. I don't know. I know that it's meant to be kept a secret, and that only High Mage Esmeralda knows how to cast it. I mean, they know that we can teleport away. They most likely suspect. I imagine that's why they went after the professors. None of the children could do anything of that scale. But I can create small teleportation circles to take a few people with me. 4 or 5.
So yes, to keep them
I see what you did there.
To make sure that they are occupied somewhere else in the city. Perhaps it would be best to have Esmeralda make an appearance elsewhere.
Well, if it keeps them away from burning down my house, then I'll be happy to do that. And, of course, for the children's safety.
Yes, of course, for the children as well. He sort of gives a knowing look at...
Zephyr takes a glance outside one of the front windows to see the street in the Noble District, or the Upper Crust District, and he looks back at Draven. It looks like there's been some rough days here for the rich. Anybody lose their home here on the street? Maybe there's a empty house, someone that's already been kicked out by the wardens.
Now you mention it, there is an empty house. It's not far from here, just a few minutes walk. It's said to be cursed. The family there moved out. Talks of spirits and demons and the like, but I don't believe that. I mean, obviously these things can happen, but a place like Neverwinter. The Paladin sort of...
I asked a question. I got a choose your own adventure answer. I'm not sure.
Turn to page 275 for this option. I have a name. My real name is Steve Livingston.
We could hide out there if they think the house is already abandoned. If they come here, they won't find the kids. But there's demons and shit. We don't need that.
The other thing I would suggest, we want these kids out of here as fast as possible for their own safety. This Matt character you spoke of, his basement, might want to check that it's clear and that he got away.
Yes, for sure.
Sounds like
yes.
you've got several branching options here that multiple people could perform. I'll go out and start doing the my one.
Your turn. What can I do? I could feed the children. I got 93 of them. I can't feed 93 children. I could run see Mutt or Fidget. Tell them what's up.
We need to know what the situation is before we either get to Mutts or to Fidgets. We can't lead 93 kids through the streets only to have it be a dead end, or worse yet, a trap.
Right, so we should scout it.
Yes, I agree.
Now that's a great way. Oh no, but you can't look like her because they will follow you.
I think that will call. If we are going to scout, we are going to want to be inconspicuous.
True, it's true. I mean, I'm open to ideas, but it sounds like we've got to put 93 children on the street and get them from point A to point B.
Yes.
Are we still doing our whole big masquerade plan? We look like party.
Yes, we need to see that there actually are other folks on the street, so that it's not just 93 kids in masks, that there's hundreds out. See if Fidget. We need to check with Fidget to see if his party is a go, and we need to see if Mutt and his cousin and the other children have made it to Mutt's, and if there is room at the inn.
Yeah, so you guys got a couple of tasks. We need to check Mutt's place, check Fidget's place. Yeah.
Well, Mutt is very inclusive and accommodating, so I think that he'll probably figure it out. Even if there's not really enough room, he'll probably do something. So I think that's probably the least of our worries. We don't really know Fidget. All we know is that we gave him a lot of drugs. So maybe we can talk to him first to see to figure all that out, because Mutt, we can sort of depend on him and all of that if he's still alive.
Yes, that's if he's still alive. I'm sure that he will do everything in his power for us, but that was a very dangerous place we just escaped with our own lives, and we had Draven with us. He was by himself.
He
So
had his cousin, didn't he?
we hope.
And his
Not-
tunnels.
So I have an idea, but it's not a very good one.
I have an even worse one, so go ahead.
What is it?
Mine's worse too, so.
Oh, well, eeny, meeny, miny then. I would say it might be advantageous of us to split the children into 4 groups when we begin to move. Is there a way to send a carrier pigeon cross town? Do we have to physically go?
I've got Draven turns back as he's leaving. I've got an owl. You can have.
Can we send an owl there and back, and we just don't got to go anywhere yet? I'm just concerned about splitting the party, because if one of you dies, I might have to cry.
That we really don't want to make Rufus cry. It's not a good time.
You
I
want
think
fire
we
oil,
should
not
stay
cry
together.
I've got a terrible idea then.
Okay.
We know one thing about the sewers. As long as you follow the shit downstream, you're gonna pop out at the docks. If we pop out at the docks, my mom's boat's there.
Oh, we could ride them up towards Mutt's place. Will your boat hold 93 children?
Oh yeah.
Boat.
It's a big old boat.
If you had said 93 teenagers, then I'd have had to do some
I was
math.
like, no way.
No,
Now,
no,
kids,
kids. Yes, in an instant. Just.
I think
No
I think
hesitation.
we need to move the children through the sewers.
All right. Well, we've been there before, and we know how to navigate it, sort of. And I like this idea.
I mean, I think there was spiders last time, so maybe we should do like front and back. But let's. Is there a sewer entrance around here? Draven.
I suppose there is. Yes.
I suppose.
There are like there are 2
Oh yeah, it's like great. Yeah, grates everywhere.
There's a sewer entrance everywhere if you're small enough.
Anyway,
Well,
there's a sewer
I
entrance
don't.
when
You're
you try
talking to
hard.
the wrong man. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I say let's move. We should take them in small groups.
I'm loving Mike's going in the chat. The boat was actually built for holding 93 children. Specifically 93. No more. No less. That's right. 94, it sinks, it goes down. But 93, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Right on.
I went to the shipwright. I said it has to hold precisely 92.
Don't ask me why. You don't want to
Make it
know.
hold 94 and send it back.
Well, let's go find the sewer entrance, I guess. Hopefully close by. I mean, knowing that the last sewer entrance was in an alley and thinking that that's probably kind of a normal thing. Is there an alley
Yeah.
anywhere on the side or close by to Draven's house that we could get to
Yep, absolutely.
inconspicuously without going out the front door?
Yeah, you guys are, you're in a city. There are sewer entrances pretty much everywhere. So,
Okay.
yeah, you can easily find one of those. Even in nice districts, they still have to have sewers. So, absolutely, you guys can slip in. The question being, you guys don't exactly know how to navigate these sewers 100%, so they will require some tracking here.
Okay.
I would like to take a short rest before we go. I think that might be a good idea for us.
Just
As the
do that.
healer, your healer is like, hey, I want to slow that roll there, tank.
I still have holes in my back. I'm down to 6 HP, so it's probably a good idea.
So can we take a moment to recover?
Yeah, you guys can take a short
and roll
rest.
some dice?
Yeah. Hit those dice.
Ooh, look at that.
Yikes, nice.
No.
Oh no, Rufus.
Rufus is just like he's working hard today.
Alrighty. So we got some good heals here. So taking a moment away whilst you guys are planning to recover, and then slipping into the nearest available sewer. So let's head down there. You guys are down in the sewers. It's getting later, and you're trying to find Fidget's place. First of all, is that correct?
Well, no, I thought we were just going to go straight to the docks
Sure.
to get the.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Can we send the owl to Fidget?
Sure. Yeah. Well, what do you want the owl to say? I mean, it doesn't actually speak, but what?
We should probably let him know he shouldn't make another explosion.
No.
Like what's up? We should maybe just feel a
Tell him
little.
we're coming. Tell him we're coming. 93 kids.
Oh, we
Oh,
ain't hiding out in his basement. We're hiding in Mutt's basement, right?
Tell him 93 kids.
Correct. But tell him we're going there.
Oh, true. Yes.
Oh, you're
Okay.
doing the devious thing again.
Yeah, and tell Draven that's where we're going too. He doesn't need to know where we're really going.
I love this. I love.
I think Draven already knows that we're going to Mutt's.
Well, he doesn't know we're going to my boat. He knows we're going down to the docks.
He does know
Big
we're going to soar to the docks. He doesn't know you were going to your boat. You're right.
That's true. That's true. Okay. All right. Let's just Rufus scribbles out a little note that's just like, shit went south. Hold the explosion. 93 children. We'll contact you soon.
Beautiful.
That's it. That's all it says.
BBL gone to docks. Alright. Cool. You guys are down the sewers. Who wants to track the way back to Fidget's house with no landmarks, unless you want to pop up and poke your head around and take a look?
Are we using survival for
It's
that
gonna be a
role?
survival roll.
And again, are we gonna do Zephyr's thing or just follow the flow of the ship?
Sorry,
thinking
yeah,
that
sorry,
it's gonna
Tula
come
ship.
to harbor?
I'm speaking bad words because I've been awake for 20 hours. But yes, you guys are headed to the docks, but it's still going to require a survival check from here because you don't have points of reference and you haven't been down these sewers to find us.
I've got.
Headed through the sewage, but it's still a manner of getting away around a sewer system.
Miguel can give it a try if no
I was
one.
about to say I've got a +4.
Oh, what are you even
Can we
waiting?
do that? I'm sorry, a 20?
Just got this in my pocket.
20. I know how to navigate
Did I
the
mention
ship.
I have a photograph? Yeah, just memory. He just remembers everything.
I remember everything about those guys.
I can see
I'll
through
get
it.
out. I don't
It's
have
the
a negative.
wafting of the shit. It's all coming back to me now. Let's
Just bringing some up.
Smell it, Rufus. It's evil.
do you smell that? I smell the direction. It's this way.
I remember that turd. Right.
I've seen that one before. that was floating on by earlier.
Oh,
The floaters always lead.
always lead.
All the floaters.
They always lead home.
Yes. Like a compass. You can depend on it. In a sewer, in a D&D sewer, follow the floaters.
Rufus has got the Northern Star of turds, which is following this constellation.
Did you see that one? The biggest,
Now you
brightest
see,
one.
if you put a pin on one side of it, and you just watch
Turds are all
flow,
papered on the north end. Right.
Oh my god. You guys broke me.
Rufus has a real ET moment that just goes home. Just starts pedaling through the air. And
Oh my god.
don't mind us. We're all a little punchy this evening. Welcome to the dark, the grim dark
oh.
campaign.
It's a
yes.
Saturday night.
So,
All right.
that way.
It's that ways. So Rufus takes Gandalf's advice and follows his nose, and you guys end up in the docks. I mean, you don't end up directly at Zephyr's, boat. That would be kind of insane, and it doesn't have a sewer entrance in it. But it certainly pop up on the docks. Whereas normally places get quieter the later it gets. As you guys pop up, it is kind of bustling out here. It gets busier down the docks. People are out drinking tonight and carousing, and none of these guys are probably magic users. These are like, you know, peasants and commoners that, you know, work the ships around here. So they, you know, there's certainly talk, and, you know, people are grouped together, and you can definitely hear shouts of like, yeah, down with those magic users, that kind of thing. So it seems like it's kind of this might be no, probably not. It's like all of the people who've been like watching a football match have just like come and they've just hit all the bars. So it's pretty rowdy atmosphere. It's kind of like you feel a little unsafe when you're in like public transport with these people. England, you know what I'm talking about.
How far is it to his boat? Do we know? Can we tell?
Yeah.
Like how far would he travel?
Rufus has got you pretty far. You're pretty close. It is down the other end of the docks.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the sake of argument, you know, the tunnel ends there. You're gonna have to, like pop into another sewer if you wanted to go back in.
I look to Zephyr. Do you see your boat? How far away is it?
It's a couple 100 yards. We could go and get one of the longboats and bring it back, but it'll take a couple trips.
Oof.
Oh, that's risky.
Can I do a can I listen in? Okay. This is so stupid.
Oh, please. Augustine,
You were talking like it's like a football match.
Sure. Yeah. Talking about the match, as it were, about, you know, like everyone saw the wardens break in and take down those mages. Dragon.
I'm so going to be the one guy from the other team.
You come in wearing their colors. You got your scarf
draw
on.
All these people away, and I'm gonna die.
I can confirm that's what happens.
But we need to get a clear path for the kids, right?
I've got an idea.
You know, you've got a stretch. Go ahead, Rufus.
What if we do our routine? Farron, let's just
Yes.
Let's do our routine.
Yes, entertainment.
Yes. Oh, and they're all punch drunk and whatnot. So we just they'll never notice. All I got to do is, you know, toss her around a little bit, smash some rocks on my hands. They'll be screaming and yelling. You guys can move the kids, and then we'll meet you after.
Yes.
You are a brilliant. I kiss Rufus right on the forehead.
My goodness.
You, my friend, are full of all of the ideas tonight. I was going to go get myself killed, and now I don't have to do that. So I'm very, very pleased.
I told you you was not dying today. Not what I can perform.
I'm a little bit rusty, but maybe they'll think we're just like cheerleaders or something, and we'll come and yeah, okay, let's do it.
It'll be great. Are we ready?
I need to stretch. Now I'm ready.
You want to go get the kids and have them distracted?
So I'm gonna like cast light on something shiny. Do you have something shiny? Something that we can have be a glowing beacon for these people. You're bald, aren't you?
I am super bald.
I cast light on Rufus's head, so his bald head shines like the sun.
He's got a shiner on. Yeah.
That's right. I guess. Okay. Yes. This is a good plan. I like this.
And I've got prestidigitation as well, and you've got prestidigitation. Between the two of us, we can like shower of sparks, puff of winds, faint musical notes.
I have prestidigitation too.
This is going to be a wonderful thing. So, Zephyr, that leaves it to you. We will distract you.
Okay, so to recap, you're all going up there to put on a show.
Yes.
Leaving with 93 kids who are being sought after by the wardens.
Right.
But they're dressed up like gnomes.
You just got to move fast and quiet, straight to the boat.
Sure thing.
Do we want to, do you want to say that you guys have got the kids and they're like ready and waiting to like go up? Because at the moment the kids, you'll distract them and then the kids will still be back there. So that's like fast forward time. You guys go back, get the kids, bring them down to the tunnel. outly scary attic where strange things have been happening with magical devices that have been going off, and the kids have been casting cantrips in there and stuff like that, and like making the place all messy. And the butler's, in, oh no! But you come back, let's see, in the chaos. Bring the kids down to the tunnel, back ready to scoot as you distract.
And yeah, if we get them all to do masks and to look not mage-like, if any, look like gnome sailors, maybe drunk gnome and halfling sailors.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's do this. So, Rufus, Farron, take the stage. You've got 50 or so dockyard workers who are drinking out here in, and beer, equivalent of beer
I've got
gardens on the docks.
thaumaturgy too, so I can, if we had some boom.
Can we? Is there a clear place that could be like a makeshift stage or area?
No, there is definitely a stage area. No one's performing, but such venues do host live music events.
Right. Okay. Are you ready, Farron?
Bards and the like.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what I'm gonna use as a target, but I guess I'll find something.
That's a good question. Is there anything around she could shoot at a tree or
Yeah,
a post?
Yeah, they're definitely.
Ooh, can I throw my magic stones up in the air?
And I will shoot them.
Yes.
And that when they hit, that we can have some kind of little, and I can press to digitate when they hit, so that makes like a thing. So it's like cracking plates from a gunslinger. Totally wrong era, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We can do this. This is gonna be great. Okay. We don't have a ringmaster, so pretty man with the mask, you're gonna have to step up and lead the. You're gonna have to make the announcement.
Basically, all you
I
can
actually
say,
do a thaumaturgy.
ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? And then, you talk about the routine a little bit, and then you.
We do it.
Way.
Yeah. So I'll disguise self as sort of like this big, burly, sort of dock worker, human guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to go out on with this makeshift stage here. And before I go out, I kind of move my way around back there. So I'm, I my belly's showing. I got a hairy belly. I'm kind of scratching. I got some grog. And to start off, I cast Sacred Flame. So this big column of light comes blasting down onto the stage, you see? And then I'm going to get up there in my thaumaturgy voice. Yeah, those mages. Screw those mages, right? But you know what's real? We got some real talent right here. We got this really pretty. You got Alicia. She's the prettiest thing you've seen, little girl. And she can, do flips and stuff. And that big guy, the strongest thing you've ever seen. He can, carry ropes around and haul sail better than anybody. So, yeah, little drinking, little fun out here with all our friends. And, yeah. Here's to the end of the mages. We got some entertainment for you right here, right now.
Roll me a persuasion check here as the guy's like, what's he talking about? Because that's
that'd be a 23 and a 20 if I had advantage.
Yeah. This guy, the group kind of turns like, hey, listen, they got some performers in. You can see that the owner of this particular tavern kind of comes out. Is like, hey, I don't mind a free performance. You guys feel free to do your thing as long as it's strictly legal, and of course no magic whatsoever. We don't want the wardens coming down here and messing up everything. Those damn mages have been screwing up the whole city for us.
Yeah, no magic here, man. This is just real skill and talent.
Yeah, and mind all the ships. We're trying to park the ships over there, so just try not to set anything on fire or shoot anyone or cause any bodily harm. I can't be held accountable for anything that happens to anyone or anything for that matter.
Yeah, do pyrotechnics okay down here? Just some black powder that we light on fire. Nothing magical at all.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, and you know what? You got a barrel up there. How much can I, for 15 gold, can I get some drinks, some free drinks to sweeten up this crowd a little bit here for my friends?
Yeah, sure. I'll go get some out for everybody.
Okay, yeah, I throw him 15 gold.
He gets it and pockets it. and rolls out a barrel and starts pouring out some drinks for people.
Cool.
The crowd starts to gather.
Yeah. I use thaumaturgy to sort of do like the murmur of the crowd of like, hey, there's a show over here. There's a show over here. It sounds like I'm using thaumaturgy to make it sound like people are like interested and like, hey, I saw these guys. They were awesome.
Yeah, everyone come over. We had Grung the Musical shown here only last week, so you guys have got a lot to live up to. Okay.
Oh, that's a tough one. We saw that down in Chult on our last one. Can you believe that little gnome as the fish? That tadpole fish man gnome. He was something else.
That was a crazy twist that I did not see coming.
Did not see that coming at all, my friend. And I sort of put my arm around him, get real chummy with him, and then I yell out, "The amazing Rufus and Farron."
Okay, so Rufus is gonna take his barrel off and his robe is off, so that he's just basically in his Rufus loincloth, because that's his performance gear, and he like steps out on stage. Is there anything to smash and or pick up? You mentioned like we're at docks, so maybe like large piles of rope or something. I just want to be able to show the strength.
There's rope, there's barrels and crates,
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll start with like one barrel in one hand and a bunch of rope in the other, and just hold it high, like, and then like slam it to the ground and smash it. And then I'm gonna give the cue to Farron to, I don't know, get a running start or something.
Farron has been like very like Vanna White, like everything Rufus does. She's like, oh, strong.
You hold up like cue cards, like, applause.
Yeah, and I give you the cue of like, get the running start. I'm gonna like boost you up so you can do your stuff from up high, your arrow stuff from up high. So nobody
Rufus, roll me a strength check to see how strong you are.
Okay. I'm not very strong today.
Like,
it's that 9 HP I'm sitting on.
You've picked like the toughest bit of rope. Oh god!
It's like I'm gonna do something different. Like I clearly can't get it above my head, so I choose a different action to like try to play it off. Yeah. Just like curl it instead or something.
Okay, guys.
That's a bit of a weak start, I have to say, everybody.
Oh, you wait. He's getting the crowd ready to go. You wait and see what comes up next. I'm sort of looking around to see if there's anyone not watching the show. I'm going to go over and kind of like, herd them and corral them in to try to make a nice clear path for our buddy Zephyr.
You definitely currently have their attention. It's a matter of holding that attention for the most part.
Yeah, so Rufus makes the call for Farron to like.
Yeah. So, like Farron, first things first, like she comes up and she doesn't have an arrow drawn right now. It's just, time for the flips and stuff. So she'll like do a running start and like jump up to Rufus to sort of do the Dirty Dancing classic, the lift. And then, as he like gets her up there, 'cause she's really tiny, I'm sure he could pick her up. I'm sure that hasn't waned.
Yeah, Farron, you can roll me an acrobatics check here.
Okay.
Okay. Do it.
18.
Nice.
Yes.
So the crowd cheer as the Dirty Dancing moment happens, and Farron is lifted aloft by Rufus's huge arms.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that move.
Yeah, do a wolf whistle.
Yeah,
So,
My wife wishes I could do that ever since my back went out,
like Farron gives like flashes a smile and a wink. Like normally she'd be like totally melting at any sort of like thing like that from Miguel, but she's like in her stage mindset right now. So she's like up in the air.
Acting. Yeah.
Yes, I'm a method actor actually. Yes, so she's like horizontal now, and Rufus is holding her up by the torso, and so she like reaches back and is holding her bow level with her face, and she's gonna like sort of look over at Miguel sort of for a cue to like throw some stones, and she's gonna try to shoot them.
Yep. So I, having heard about the no magic, I'm gonna be less ostentatious, but I am gonna start throwing these stones up into the air for her to be able to shoot at.
Yeah.
All
It's like,
right.
here comes the good part. This is where I get to do my little thing. And I sort of disappear into the crowd a little bit because I'm preparing something. If something goes wrong, I've got something prepared. So I kind of disappear into the crowd and you start seeing these stones.
Got a costume
Throw
change
up.
going on.
Yeah.
There we are. Instant space. So yeah, you go scream for a costume change for a second. Toss these stones up in the air. Farron, you can roll me an attack roll to see if you can shoot these arrows. Sorry, these stones out of the sky.
16.
Nice, that is a success. So describe how as Miguel throws his arrows up, Farron shoots them down.
Yeah, so like she pulls out like 3 arrows at once, and she's got them like all like lined up on the bow. And as he like tosses them up, like imagine he's like throwing up like juggling, and it's like 2 come up at the same time and they go right through it, and then another one comes up and it hits it. And afterwards she's like looking out, like expecting an applause.
Yeah, I'll start the applause out in the audience.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they cheer. Like, oh, that's a real good shot! Wow! Oh boy! Etc.
Has Zephyr started his process yet?
Yeah, as soon as the first shot would strike the stone, as the attention was drawn away, during the lead up and the intro and the setting the stage, as the 3 performers did their thing, Zephyr would have taken that time to do the following. He would get the kids together, ask them which of them could basically cast the cantrip Create Flame. And then he would say, oh, okay, you 10, 12, 15, however many, get over here. And then he would buddy them up with any of them that could cast the cantrip Control Flame. So he would, okay, get over here. And the point being this, if Zephyr gives the signal, they are to turn around and at max range create bonfires on every surface that they can see. And the Create Flame kids are supposed to spread it as quickly as they can, creating a wall of flame. I'm going to have them harry with any type of cantrip they have, infestation, whatever these kids have been trained. I'm sticking solely with cantrips. And if there are any offensive kids that might have gotten so far as to know Firebolt, I'm going to have them close to me. So if we get into anybody, 10 Firebolts firing at somebody would be nice.
Zephyr's army forms around him. So where do you want this wall of flame to be cast, and when?
He wants it if we run into trouble and are found out. Zephyr's going to give the cue. Their job is to keep it as close to the water as possible. I don't want it, taking up Mutt's place or any of the docks. But if they can find a pier, creep it from the main dock area off into a pier, and they're just going to spread it as if something spilled, as if somebody was bringing out oil, or another batch of thigh oil was coming in from Chult, and they spilled it and it took off and lit, and something to distract. And fire on the docks is a big problem. So.
Nice. So I'll roll a stealth roll for these kids. And, as they're starting to creep their way across, everyone seems enthralled. Seems like a good time for them to head over. We'll give them advantage on it because they are in disguise. On a 20, these kids are like halfway across. You see the little line of them, start scooting across behind the audience as 93 kids start just like going towards the ship. They're not like running, but they're going at a good, scoot. A good scoop. What are the rest of you guys doing as you see the line start? It's working so far.
She's finished up her shot, so Rufus is going to give her the usual signal with his hands, that kind of squeeze her a little bit, and he goes 1, 2, and he's going to toss her and do a basket toss to flip her down and toss her out.
Okay, toss. Farron like a Caesar salad. Roll me athletics, yeah.
Oh no, a 9.
Oh, can I roll like a deck save or something
you can roll a deck
to try
save.
and see if I can land it and be like, oh, it was all planned.
Oh yeah.
I'll dip you instead. I'll catch and dip you.
You want acrobatics?
Yeah, roll me an acrobatics check.
Okay. A 10.
Okay, so with like I said, I had something planned if things went wrong.
Okay, good.
I have cast a disguise self to look exactly like Farron's twin, and come up and can I do an acrobatics to basically make a big entrance as though it looks like she has fallen and split into two people.
Okay, you can try.
Oh, that's
this
cool.
This is going to require a couple of ththings. The first of which, you can roll me a acrobatics check to see if you can even pull anything off like Farron can.
Oh no!
No, crit.
Oh, that's
I have a
bad.
+5 and still rolled a nat 1. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's going to be distracting enough that we're so horrible.
So Rufus tosses Farron up, but like the throw isn't very good, and Farron's not like up high enough. The problem being Farron doesn't have like enough time in the air in order to like make the full rotation or whatever, to do the full tuck and round. So Farron's coming down at like an awkward angle, like still landing on your feet, but it's one of those like, oh holy shit, just landed, not like a haha, I just did an awesome dive roll sort of thing. And then Miguel appears as Farron, and another Farron just comes out from nowhere and face plants. It's like just falls on top of you, and it's like, what the hell? And everyone's like, not only are they like super confused, but it looks just terrible. They're like, well, what? This is rubbish. And the other guy's like,
Yeah, this is absolutely terrible. It's gotta get you guys out of here.
No. It's wait. It's all part of the act. Who here wants me to smash something? What do you want me to smash?
I let them roll a perception check at this point as this happens. They haven't spotted the kids, but you are starting to lose your audience in a big way. You know, like the Farron fall and the Rufus throw is pretty bad, and then Miguel comes on and just like, you know, completely face plants, like almost like falls off the stage sort of thing.
Does Farron know that this is Miguel, or is she like?
No,
she,
suddenly there's
No,
just
it's
another
another
you.
you. This comedy of errors continues.
Oh my god! You know the movie White Chicks when there's that moment where they're like, "Oh no, we've been cloned." That's what Farron is doing.
Oh lord.
Yeah, Farron, you definitely panic. You see yourself. There's no mirror. This isn't part of the act.
Yeah, she's
No, I was
like,
thinking.
she's frantic, and she's like, "Rufus, there's another me. Someone cloned me."
Pretty sure it's a doppelganger.
Keep tumbling. Yes,
Those-
undexterous
Those
Farron.
damn mages! Look, those damn mages! Look what they did! They cloned me! They're horrible people!
Oh, we hate those mages. I pick up on what you're putting down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and you know what we do to mages? We smash them and we bash them.
And Farron
And-
points
oh,
over to the other
oh,
Farron and says,
How well known
"Smash her!
is
Smash her!"
Esmeralda? So I turn myself into Esmeralda, except like make with a long nose and
In
look
front
like
of everyone, in front of the bar that hates mages.
I'm the High Mage Esmeralda, and I've come to ruin your fun.
Do you guys remember when you were like 7 years old and you put on plays for your parents? And they just had absolutely no plot, no consistency. You're like just random stuff just starts to happen, and everyone is really confused.
I'm thinking of let's make a mob, and then when they turn around, there are 93 little mages running around.
Just
When they turn, there they are. you know?
Okay, this is going to
Yeah.
require a series of things. The mother of
Come
all
on, my good ones.
performance check is going to be required here. So I'll let both Rufus and Miguel roll a performance check, but I am not convinced. I don't think the crowd are either. It's going to be a disadvantage for both of you.
damn it. I
That's a
just got one that shit.
It can't be like a deception or a.
No, you're
It's
performing
performance.
in front of a crowd.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean.
straight performing for them at this point.
Okay, disadvantage performance. A 15 for by Miguel.
Yeah, so like, like Miguel comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'm a mage. We hate the mages." And Rufus is like, "Yeah, we kill mages." It maybe works a little bit too well, Rufus.
Oh, no.
Because the crowd are like, "Yeah, we should kill mages," and they start, getting rowdy, they're getting riled up, and they start looking around themselves, and they spot this line of kids. Like,
Oh
spot these-
no.
spot these kids here, and they're gonna roll a perception check to see if they see anything going on with these kids. Another 6, they don't, but they're like, "What are all these kids doing down here in the docks?"
They are slaves for the show, the performance. They aren't you slaves?
I just look at
so
Rufus
quickly.
is like in utter horror.
Cough, cough.
You're keeping children as slaves?
I mean, no, they're performers in our circus. Aren't you kids with all the masks on?
That's gonna be another.
So we keep posturing the kids. Go faster. They have no idea.
Am I
what they're doing.
deceiving
Go
them or
faster.
persuading them?
You're deceiving them, but at disadvantage again.
Okay, a 13.
13. Like, some of them are like, okay, you know, maybe this is what, you know, they do in the circus. Some of them are drunk, they think that, you know, maybe they didn't hear you properly. Others that are drunk, and pretty sure they did hear you properly, or don't care if they heard you wrong, are pretty angry. Like, you have a burgeoning mob on your hand, and you know of these things, it's only a matter of time before these things get out of control, and they look ready for a fight.
So I am going to thaumaturgy my voice as Esmeralda in her horrible mask and just go, "You stupid commoners, you couldn't ever defeat any mages. You'll never stop us." And
Get 'em!
and run.
What?
Sick 'em!
Let's roll some initiative here.
Oh shit, I've got 9 points of health. This is
No,
bad.
I'm trying to get them on me because I know you've only got 9 points of health.
Well, we're all together, Tall Squall. We're all up.
Well, you guys look like you're stupid. Look like you
We
were
don't know this
deceived by
crazy
horrible-
You're
by the
not,
horrible
you're not
name.
sure if the crowd are really reading that far into things right now,
Oh, okay, never mind.
but, you know, it's worth a try.
So we roll initiative.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
roll some
good.
initiative. I mean,
Hopefully,
you
as long
guys,
as we run fast.
we're not in combat as such. We're just going to need some order to the actions and things. So you guys can still make skill checks to try and persuade the crowd that, you know,
Okay.
you weren't involved in this, or, you know, this guy's a total baddie, etc.
Yeah, you wants to kill this here mage. Let me tell you something. They're up yonder killing tons of mages. You should go over there.
Well, Farron is still
Very
like totally confused. He's like, Farron's not that smart. Her intelligence is not that high.
True.
And so Farron saw herself and now Esmeralda and has not put it together. What is happening? She just thinks that her clone is disguised as Esmeralda, not Miguel disguised himself as Farron and then this Esmeralda.
It's very confusing both to you and the crowd, and they've just kind of gone with anger. They're like, we don't want to understand this anymore. We're just
Yeah,
gonna hit him."
Farron doesn't either. Farron is like, can someone? I don't really know why I've been cloned, and I'm really scared that someone's trying to kill me. Can someone please protect me? Someone please.
And I said, look, you've
she
made her
pulls-
cry, you bunch of bullies. You made her cry. I'm trying to make her feel bad.
All right, let's get
Like,
to
I'm
initiative.
small and cute. Someone please.
All right, so let's act in an initiative here. So Zephyr, what is your initiative, my friend?
18.
18. Miguel's was 18 as well.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, you can decide between yourselves. Who wants to act first? Farron got a 9.
Yeah.
And oh, you got 22 there, Rufus. Nice. Let's gonna roll a straight d20 for this crowd to see when they're acting.
Come on, low.
19.
Oh,
They've got that kind of, you know, angry mob speed to them, which is like it's like they're egging each other on. You know,
Yeah.
it's that mentality. You know, that kind of uncomfortable feeling when you're around a crowd of big people who are, you know, drinking, and kind of getting a little angry. And at this point, this performance has turned from like one thing to another, and they're just kind of angry at mages, you know. And there's seems to be one that they're fighting, and there's been talks of slavery of children. I mean, like, they don't like mages, but, you know, these guys are...
We've offended
they
everybody.
They have kids, you know, like, you've hit a wide range of demographics of people that you can offend, you know, like...
We pissed everybody
You haven't
off.
gone for the margins. You've really just blanket offended, which is impressive. So, Rufus, it sounded like you're trying to convince these guys that, you know, Farron isn't involved in this. Or they
Yes.
want to go somewhere else, maybe.
Yes, exactly. Look, you upset her. I'm here. Look at what you did, all you mean people.
You can roll me a persuasion check here, Rufus.
Well, we know this has just really gone well for me lately.
Like,
Just
a
really
few of
loving
them-
this persuasion.
You know, a few of them look like they were going to, like, get up from their seats and they can, like, sit back down. You know, you've got, like, a crowd of 30 to 40 guys here who look like they're, pretty tough, maybe piratey types. Some of them do sit down. Some of them, just start hitting each other. But it doesn't seem to hold back a tide that are coming towards the stage area, specifically looking like they're going for Miguel right now in disguise.
Okay.
But you get the feeling when you got an angry mob in your hands, there's probably some misdirected anger that might go your way as well.
Okay.
So Rufus, do you want to move at all or do anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to. What is basically behind us? Like they're facing us, we're facing them. Is there anything behind us?
You've got a strand of beach, and then you've got the sea. So you're kind of on a beach side right now, really.
Okay.
Just, at
Okay.
night. Either side of you, there's more dock area, so you can run off into the streets if you wanted to do something like that.
Yeah. I'd like to pick Farron up and tear off running. Yeah, to safety.
Yeah.
So as far as I can move.
Do you want to head towards the boat or away from the ship?
Let's head towards the kids.
Okay.
I'm gonna go towards the kids. My goal is to kind of get lost in the crowd of chaos.
Okay. You certainly feel like you have lost yourself along here somewhere. It is the crowd's turn. We're gonna take their action as getting up and starting to move towards and run towards you guys. You've got the main bulk of the crowd are further behind, but you've got forerunners who look like the kind of instigators of these sort of events. So the kind of heavy, more brawler types are getting involved. The bartender's like,
Go get them! Seems like they're real bad guys. They're enslaving kids with magic.
so they're coming towards you. Not going to get a chance to punch you guys yet. They're within 10, 15 feet of you. Zephyr. It is your turn. You're with the kids, whom it seems like are flying under the radar for the most part in terms of the attention from this crowd. In fact, some of the crowd are taking their turns to go and help the kids get out of this fight. So some of them are like, "Come along," and one was like,
get out of here, kids. You don't want to be here. Oh, there's some real bad things about to happen to those guys. Oh, you don't even want to see that. It's gonna be nasty.
"You got some help."
Okay. So I have some help. These guys are actually helping to get the kids away.
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah,
Or-
they didn't look to be. None of them are actively trying to hurt them, and some are actively trying to help.
I'm gonna roll the dice here. This has gone so well for this group so far.
Yes.
Zephyr unclips the eye clip and lets the cape fall down as he reveals the nautical and piracy tattoos that are blazoned all over his arms and his chest, and he pulls the shirt open and there's scarification and the signs of the wind and the gale, and he stands there and he allows the blessed unrest to start to go through his eyes as the electricity hits and the wind starts to blow, and he jumps up on the nearest barrels to get above the crowd, and he looks around and he says, "I'm one of you. I don't know who the hell these guys are, but if you're with the Tempest Beloved and the Pirate Queen, get these kids to my boat. Save them."
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna make a roll for that. These guys are, pirates. You've got you look like one of them. You clearly are one of them, and there are kids in danger. And these guys are, they're brawler dudes. But when guys get drunk and they get protective over their kid or something like that. I went to a festival once and I saw a dad and he was just in front of his three girls, and one guy jumped near him. He just fucking punched a guy. He just straight up. So he was one of those kind of guys. So these guys are like, "Yeah, of course," and they just start ferrying these kids towards the ship and getting as many children out of here as possible, and holding off. It's possible for kids to get stampeded a little bit or shoved, tripped, run into, that kind of thing. So they kind of form a bit of a wall around the kids with their bodies and just kind of get them out of here, go into full sort of protective dad mode on these kids. Cool. Miguel, you look like you're about to be murdered by an angry mob.
Yeah, so I assume I don't need to make a further intimidation to keep people ready to kill me.
No, yeah, they want you dead. They're not sure why exactly. They know that they definitely do. They know that they have a good few reasons why they think they might.
So I can do mage armor at will. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because this might not go well. It's Miguel. Miguel, He does things assuming that he's never going to fail. So he takes off cackling like a mad mage, using prestidigitation, whatever, to make it look like, he's just like this font of magic running off into hopefully the sort of somewhat dark streets, kind of trying to drag these people along, but all the while looking for somewhere where he can make a quick turn, transform himself, and then blend into the crowd.
All right, roll me an athletics check to see if you can run out of here.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics.
I'm sorry, athletics?
Athletics, yeah, for sure. You're running, all right.
Okay, that's 16.
Nice. You set off at a good clip, and start running out towards the docks. We'll get back to you. You do see some side streets that look duck-innable, so we'll get back to Miguel on his next turn. Farron, you watch your clone, Mark, running away from you. It's away from the crowds. You're very confused what's happened. Someone may have cloned you, as far as you know.
So that's the thing, this is so sad. Farron is like totally convinced. She's like, this is my doppelganger. She came to kill me and take over my spot. This is it. It's kill or be killed. So like Farron, like as Farron sees Farron like running away, she's gonna be like
Farron as Esmeralda.
Farron as Esmeralda. She's like, Rufus, hold me up higher. She gets a good bolster and is gonna shoot. I'm sorry, but she's gonna shoot her longbow at her evil doppelganger that's trying to kill her.
Let's do it. I think Farron has
21.
fair call.
Oh, that'll hit.
4 damage.
Okay.
Nice. Someone shoots you in the back, Miguel. As
God, this is awful.
contact with your disguise happens. Right, that breaks.
I don't know. Is disguise self-concentration? Give me a second.
Yes, I know when it's like someone passes through, they can see, but maybe the arrow probably doesn't break that, does it? That's
Yeah, I think it's
disguise.
it's more like
Yeah.
you can pass your hand through. I think you're just gonna see an arrow sticking out of the back.
Yeah. It is duration. Yeah, you're right. So this arrow just lands in your back, and you're not sure who shot that, but this crowd are clearly hotter on your heels than you realize.
And like Farron is like, Rufus, follow that clone.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak on my turn, but he looks at me and goes, stop shooting it. That's not who you think it is.
I don't know who it is. I just know that it wants to be me.
No, it doesn't. And Rufus is still like running with her on his shoulder, trying to like.
She's like,
He's like,
loaded
no.
arrow.
Yeah, that's Miguel. That's Miguel. I'm like yelling as we're like running, and I'm like hopefully barreling.
And Farron is like, what'd you say? We're going to hell.
You're like Boromir carrying Frodo out
You
from.
need some
Yeah.
gems.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I said Miguel.
Yeah. Beautiful. That's Farron's turn.
Jesus.
Much deadlier Frodo this time round. It's top of round 2. Rufus, you're running with the kids to the ship.
I am. I'm trailing at the very end with Farron, and I'm literally just taking my turn to make sure nobody's left behind.
Yeah, you
if
got
there's
it.
like a tiny kid whose feet can't keep up, I'm gonna snatch him up too and just like.
Yeah, it's at this point you guys are in the green, like you're in the clear, because the piratey dock worker dudes are like protecting the kids, moving them out of here
Okay.
as quickly as possible. They're even helping them onto the ship. They just trust that you guys are like helping them to safety.
Yeah. Okay.
For now, at least, there may be questions. There may be
Right.
questions.
Right. Later.
But the immediate danger, they're getting them to the ship. So you guys could definitely have reached the ship at this point.
Okay.
And be out of there to the.
Can I
Tempest
have
Water.
eyes on? Is he too far? Can I have eyes on Miguel?
You feel aware in the crowd. You definitely see the crowd that's following him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to take as much of a zigzag pattern as I can to try to.
Yeah.
He's Jack Sparrowing right now.
Yeah.
Running away from the angry mob. So- Amazing. All right, that's Rufus's turn. The crowd. We're gonna roll these guys an athletics check to see if they can keep. Oh yeah, they're definitely keeping up with you. In fact, one of them's gonna. You got 30 speed, right? 30 feet.
30 speed, yeah.
Sky got a 21, you got a 16, so you definitely had a head start. One of these guys is gonna try and, tackle you. He dives to the ground, just grabs your ankles, but these guys are catching up with you. Like, they're like the rugby team, like you've got a rugby team on your back, and these guys are like, oh, they're going for it. So they're keeping pace, which is a problem for Miguel right now because there's no easy opportunity to dive into a back alley and, transform. So right now, they are hot on your heels. Zephyr, it is your turn. Anything you want to do in particular? I mean, you're at the ship, presumably.
Well, I was still standing with the crowd, so
yeah.
I'm kind of like halfway, I guess, where they were coming out of the sewers. I'm close to where the performance was. That's where I theater of the mind.
Yep.
Okay, so I can see that they're gonna catch him. I mean, they're getting close, right?
Oh, definitely. One of them almost, just like took his ankle out from underneath him.
Okay, so is the de facto mob leader, the crowd leader, close to me? He's still the one that was screaming at the bar.
Oh boy, go get him! Oh, he's gonna get what for?
Okay, so Zephyr turns to him, and if there are several bigger guys around, or faster, or meaner, or they've got maybe 2 teeth among the lot of them, he kind of saddles up to these biggest guys and the bartender to make sure he's there, and he says, "No. Don't beat him. Don't kill him. Let me take him to Sumbar in the Pirate Isles. You know what they do to him there."
Oh boy, I do.
Roll me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage because you're talking to your people here.
How about intimidation? Would you allow me to do that? Since I'm...
Yeah, I can be convinced to an intimidation check.
Well...
He's like, oh, I'm thinking about it, but I just don't know. Oh, I'm close to doing it, but
he's thinking about it. He's like,
I think the boys, they really need to just, let it out of them.
10 gold. And I'll pick some crew.
Make it
they
30,
can sail on the
30 gold pieces, and you got your man.
Get him. 30 it is. And he spits in his hand and puts it forward as the pirate's clasp to see if he takes
it. Oh boy, I love money.
He does it back.
Okay.
You'd suspect this guy to, probably be the guy that you go to recruit pirates in Neverwinter.
Right.
So you've made a connection here,
nice.
For sure. Got yourself a deal, and he whistles, really loud. That kind of the coach whistle, and his team just kind of like. They turn around, they look confused, which is enough for Miguel to get away and dive into an alley. And as the crowd kind of come back, what's going on, boss? He's like, don't worry about it. And we're letting this one go to Sumbar. And the guys, they'll like heartily chuckle that evil pirate laugh. And they seem pleased by this. A couple of them fight it out nonetheless, and start, just like having a brawl in the sands. And the leader of this band seems fine with that. He's introduced himself as Zarin.
Oh, my name's Zarin. Oh, it is.
I
can't wait to get some of those. Hear the tales from what happens to that guy. You want to go after him?
I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get him. I know where he's going.
Sure hope you do.
No worries, man.
Now, about those kids. Talk of slavery. I don't like that in my city. I don't allow it. Anyone's trading on stuff like that, I don't like, so...
Nah, we broke him out. It's filthy mages. Filthy mages had him in the cellars, doing God knows what experiments. Thank God for the wardens. I'm helping him out, working with a couple of the recruits, bringing them down here. We're getting them out. I'm taking them the only place they'll be safe. Have a proper bringing up. The Pirate Isles. They'll be sailing the seas, keeping me and you in gold whenever we're old.
You want to roll a persuasion check? I'll give you advantage on this one. A lot of reasons.
Boy, you got a silver tongue as much as Miguel does.
Yeah.
How about a nat?
Dude.
Yeah, He totally believes it. I mean, partly because it is, for the most part, true. You are saving these kids. You are getting out from the major sellers. So he said, all right then. Why, you know what? Let's call it 20. And he gives you back 10 of the gold pieces. And says, you know, get those kids some, some grog on me.
Sounds good. And don't talk about it. There's a couple of those mercenaries that the warden's hired. Yeah, landies.
Oh,
They're not like us.
No, those are some real bad guys, let me tell you. Came around knocking around here, seeing if I would get them onto a ship, but turns out they actually came from that Cho place. From over the seas, and they're working with some the guys in the city that I don't work with. You know what I'm saying? So I'd keep away from them. And he
I agree.
He kind of shoots you a knowing look, as though he thinks you know what you're both conspiring about. Yeah, he gives you a wink. Oh boy. So Miguel, you rush off into the street. Do you want to transform back into something else?
Yeah, I transform into just as the most nondescript, nothing looking, never Miguel in a million years. It gives him shivers just to be this bland. He is beige and miserable.
He comes out Mr. Beige. Yeah, I love it. Cool. 3/4 length trousers.
Oh yeah.
on.
I mean, he is builder beige as beige of beige.
Amazing. So Farron and Rufus, you're on the ship. Zarin and his pirates kind of work out everything that's going on. The kids get aboard Tempest Beloved successfully. There's no sight of your doppelganger, Farron, but I think at this point Rufus has probably explained that that was in fact Miguel.
Yeah, she's like, right, it was Miguel. And every time she hears a noise, she's like, she thinks that it's gonna sneak up behind her and take her place.
Yeah, she catches herself in a mirror and shoots the mirror. Yeah.
Every time she sees her reflection, she's like, I'm watching you. I'm watching. And there's a moment where she's like, Rufus, we need to mark me or something. So if I start acting weird, you can look, and if there's no mark, it's not me.
I got some. What about a handshake? A best friend shake. That way, if I get to it and I'm like, Farron, shake my hand, and she just normal shakes my hand, I know she's the wrong one. Does that make you? What do you wants to do, Farron?
Okay, well, something kind of simple, just in case I accidentally, I could forget it, and then you could think I was the wrong one when I was the right one. So something small. I think I got it. What if we go in for a normal handshake, but then we use one finger to just sort of tickle the palm of the other person just a little bit?
Great, palm tickling. Let's yes, I think this is a great idea. I like it. It's subtle, and it's the same motion, so they won't know, there's no awkwardness. So, okay, we'll try it. Ready? And Rufus puts his hand out to shake it. And then he uses his giant sausage finger to tickle her hand. This is perfect, right? This is how we do it. See? Now, you don't need to be afraid, because I will always know, thanks to palm tickling, that it's you.
I see you guys are using the secret pirate handshake.
God damn. Are you spying on us?
Sorry, I couldn't help over here. Zarin, it's a mighty bad performance you put on there, but it looks like you got some kids, so you guys are fine by me.
Yeah, we're fine until my clone showed up.
Yeah, that was weird, I gotta say. But don't worry, we're gonna get that clone. My associate here, Zephyr, is gonna take him out. Take him to some bar.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Nice to meet you too.
Tell you what, you guys, you're not looking for work, are you? Not much to perform, but you got some good shots in you, girl, and you're pretty strong, big fella, even though, you messed up a few times. I can tell those muscles worked, really. So, we're hiring it points towards Zephyr on the ship. Take those kids out, give them a better life, as well as, of course, take a good new friend, that clone, mage, whatever, to You know, a nice little end. What do you say?
We could end him. Right, Zephyr? We could end him.
We'll let him handle it in the Pirate Isles. He's a
Right.
great person I've just met. So, yeah, we'll be here for work, Zarin, if you need us. I'm looking for a crew. Kind of flesh out a little bit here on the Tempest Beloved.
Looks like you got 2 here already. Anyone else signing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Beige probably walks up about then. He looks like a dock worker, but is Mr. Beige. And goes, I could use some work.
You, what you got to you? Don't look like you're looking pretty beige there, my friend.
I'm a sailor. I do all kinds of things. It's kind of a nickname that I've been given. I stare, Zephyr. I think people call me the peacock. I think it's kind of like one of those things that because I know I'm not that flashy.
Well, I gotta say, I'm not getting a lot of pee, but of the latter, I'm getting a little bit of right now. That sounds wrong.
He just looks very strange at him, and
Get a little bit.
it's funny. For just a second, you have, well, my friend, and then he stops, and then is back to, I don't understand what I don't quite follow.
Now,
These are the
Mr.
things that you just love to hear your boyfriend say. You just love it.
Especially when it's 2 third school.
Mr. Peacock, welcome aboard. We can always need somebody that doesn't stand out in the crowd.
Yeah, I can swab.
Father, gotcha.
Right.
All right then. Well, you guys come to me if you need anything. You consider me here a friend of yours, as long as there's no trading on, kids or anything too bad like that. As well as you don't bring any wardens down on us, so no magic, obviously. You guys know that.
Obviously.
Of course.
Have you heard from Mutt over at the bar?
Yeah, I know that guy. He's a little bit too inclusive for my tastes, but
He's accepting. He's
Yeah.
accepting.
maybe a little bit too accepting. He trades with all sorts. He doesn't have much of a code when it comes to who you deal with and who you don't deal with. But I do know Mutt. I hear he's had a little shake-up. He's been in his hole again, I hear.
I hear he was, spent some time in his hole. Is he back? Is he behind the bar?
Oh, yeah, you can't stop Mutt. You can't keep him down. I actually sent a couple of boys around to check on our boy. I know Cousin Mickey. He's actually one of my cousins as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. Cousins. We all have them.
That's right, we do.
Is Mutt in the bar right now?
I believe he is.
Oh, I think I could use a drink after tonight.
Idea. Why not stay here, though? Zarin's bar is even better, and even less inclusive. So you don't get the sorts that you don't like. It's just the clientele that you do like. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he throws his arm over Zarin's shoulder. Where's your bar? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna get my gear from Mutt's, but Zarin.
Yeah, he just
sounds like-
he points just up Lestrand. You guys were like performing just outside his. You were in his beer garden. So he just points to that one. There it is. You come right back, and if you do see Mutt, tell him I said hey, and that he owes me a lot of money.
A lot of money, right? I'll see you, Zarin. Thank you. Appreciate it. One sailor to another.
He nods. And heads back to his bar.
He turns around to the others. What happened?
I had an off night. Nobody's perfect. I'm a little rusty. I've not smashed things in a while.
The last time I saw you all perform, a man got shot in the eye, and you rode on top of him.
No.
This was worse somehow than murder. We need to focus a bit.
How fault. We had
I
one.
know.
We had one sort of fall thing, and then Miguel did not tell me that he cloned me, and then my clone showed up, and it threw my game off.
No,
It
it
was
wasn't a clone. It
Unfortunate
was.
event.
So Mr. Beige, still as Mr. Beige, is sort of goes up to Farron. My dear, next time I will be sure to let you know what I am doing beforehand. But I was worried that suddenly that we would be lose their attention and the kids would be caught. This is literally coming from the most milquetoast middle management sales guy that you've ever, the guy who works the phones with this voice coming out of it.
Yeah.
Baron is like the the meme of that like woman who's like the formulas going all around her head, like she's trying to figure it out. And she's like, and she's like, if you sound, but you look. So you were, and you said, and then, and she just like falls and faints back into Rufus.
Rufus catches her. Yeah, Rufus catches
She
her.
can't
He's like,
take it anymore.
he's had a lot of things. I like pick her up. I'm like, I'm gonna go lay her down. We could all use a rest. We made it to the boat. How far to Mutts?
So are we going to actually move the boat up several docks, or how
just
is this
going
going
to-
to work? Is it another port, or how does
Harbor Master won't allow it. We just have to walk over to Matt's. It's close.
Okay. So is that what we're staying for tonight? Are we safer here on this boat?
No one's coming on the boat if they're not allowed, if they're not invited.
That's nice. Well, then perhaps we should head back to Mutz, see how they made out.
We need food for the kids as well.
Yes.
There's 93 of them. They're gonna get hungry.
How are the streets looking, Will? Like, is it still chaos? Like, what's the sitch there?
People are still out. There are fires from the college, and it was quite a spectacle. So people are still on the streets. The dock workers are kind of calmed down themselves now that they've had their brawl and and saved some kids. The streets aren't chaotic. They are more full than they should be of a night. But there are other people who are out partying as well, who are celebrating the success of the the end of the mages, because this is quite a popular move from the wardens, because they have been taught quite a fair bit of propaganda that these wardens are the good guys and that the mages are the reasons for things like necromancy, which to a certain degree may be true, but there are more people out than you would expect tonight.
We're going to move in with all these people. You don't think anybody's going to stop us as we herd 93 kids down the block?
Oh, I thought we were going to leave them here.
Oh, we're going to see Mutt.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go get Matt.
Kids will be safe because no one can get on the boat. I mean, is this a magical that no one can enter without permission, or?
Well, the Tempest Beloved has a reputation. We ask some of these boys. No one's getting on the boat. Not without us knowing. We can see it from Mutt's. Mutt's dockside. We'll be all right. It's our best bet.
So nobody's going to stay with the kids?
I mean, we can. One of us can if we'd like.
Well, I'm assuming, Will, that some of these big guys are still around, kind of. Drink.
You don't know how much they're going to stay there. Not going to stay there 24/7, but there are people hanging around who would probably see something happen. The kids themselves aren't totally defenseless. They do know some cantrips. That's your call on whether or not you're comfortable leaving 93 kids on a ship on the docks.
Right.
Worst nightmare. It's my worst nightmare as a teacher. It's like liability field trip forms. Oh my god.
The paperwork. The forms the parents filled out did not cover this.
Does someone want to stay? Otherwise, we'll get some of these guys to watch them.
I feel like
That
if we're
isn't-
bringing back food for 93 kids, I'm gonna need to be there to carry it.
We all need to be there for carrying it. We have horses back at
way back.
Mutz.
Way back at the college,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you
they're
left them
not-
out there.
they're at the college.
we
They're-
did.
They may have been.
Well, no, they are at
They-
the gnomes.
They
Fidgets.
are.
They're
because
at
we took
fidgets
this-
because they couldn't come down the sewer.
Like I say,
Well,
they
I-
may have been taken. You left them outside the most famous thieves' house. I mean, they might be there.
Well,
Oh, poor Mutt. He let us have those on loan.
well, it's not time to return them yet. We'll get them back, right?
Still got the warranty
Okay,
on
let's
them,
do
right?
this. Zephyr takes off at a jog.
Okay.
He runs the couple hundred yards over to Mutt's, opens the door. Is Mutt inside?
She sure is. You open up. Mutt looks pretty wounded though, and you saw him in a fight before. But
Oh, that's right. Back from the spiders, he
and-
got
and-
hit.
and he looks pretty bad. You know, he's taken in the same day 2 near-death beatings. He's like propped up on the side of the bar where his like concussions are really starting to hit him. And there are people all around him who are like ministering to him. There's even a bard who's singing a song of rest at the moment to try and help Mutt heal up. You also see he sells things, the tabaxi
That's
merchant,
what
who's
Okay.
actually giving Mutt some of his real healing potions.
Calm
Okay.
down, Matt. You will feel much better once you drink this.
Oh, okay, I will. I don't feel so good. And he's got cuts, bruises all over him. It's like death by a 1,000 cuts. Looks like he's probably been in some kind of explosion from the burn marks as well. Maybe this like shrapnel, this rubble that's hit him.
Zephyr goes right over to Mutt, leans down, makes sure that he sees him, and he whispers into Mutt's ear, "Point to the person that you trust the most in this room."
You ask Mutt that?
Yep. Ask
Uh,
him to point to the person he trusts the most.
Oh, Mutt opens his arms wide. I trust everyone, Zephyr. I trust you. I trust everyone
Pick.
else here.
First name that comes to mind.
Well, Sergeant Tasker's a police officer.
Right. Is the Sarge still
Yeah,
here?
the sergeant's here. Slightly portly-looking guy. He looks concerned. He's been like, adding a tourniquet onto one of Mutt's wounds. Looks over. Hey,
Hey, Sergeant, need you for a second. Can I take the Sarge back to watch the kids and then bring everybody else back to Mutt so we can talk?
Sergeant Tasker will, head on over. Being an officer of the law, he's heard that if you tell him there's been a scuffle on the shore, he'll go out and wants to sort out the pirates and make sure that everything's okay. So Tasker will head off.
Okay, so I assume we all kind
Yeah.
of meet back in Mutt.
Meet back
Okay.
at Mutt's, yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I see Mutt in bad condition, I go over, and once I like walking through the threshold of Mutt's, like I'm like taking off like the worst, smelliest clothes. I just drop beige and go back to Miguel's normal self, and then I rush over to my friend Mutt, oh my dear, and I just rush over and I go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Wait, Rufus runs over and grabs your wrist and says, "Careful, just casting magic. We know how this works. We might ask to take him somewhere private." Right, because we're in the middle of the bar, yes?
Sure.
He's like laid out in the
You said
bar.
there's a bunch of people gathered around.
Yeah, you don't know how everyone feels about that, I guess.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you're just catches himself and looks like he's tending to bandages. Mutt, my friend, I have a healing kit in my room that perhaps might be able
please?
to take care. You'll need to come with me if you will.
Okay, fine. I could do that.
Oh, I help him up. I help him up.
Yeah, he heals himself up and he winces at his wounds, but he can walk.
Okay. And I take him into my room, covered with mirrors. That
No
Miguel can't help
context,
but take
that
it.
is a brilliant thing to say.
Miguel can't help but take a look or two at himself as he goes in, but then gets Mutt on the bed and just, okay, hold tight, my friend, and then I will cast Cure Wounds on him.
Slap him down on the bed and lay your hands on him, and Mutt feels a lot better.
All the
Yes,
mirrors,
Cure
dozens
Wounds,
and dozens.
another 9. That's 9 healing, and if he doesn't look like he's back, then I can actually use my healing light on him as well, as my eyes will start to glow in their prismatic fashion, and I will do another 2. So 11 hit points of healing to Mutt.
Nice. Absolutely. Mutt starts to come round a little bit, back to himself. His wounds are going to still take some time to heal. He's going to have a lot of scar tissue. But, you've saved, there was some, shrapnel in his eye. You're worried that he was going to lose the eye, but you've saved the eye, which is probably a focus from a lot of Miguel's healing as well.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Oh, I'm glad I took you all in.
You are, right now, our best friend in this whole place. How did things go with your cousin Mickey? And were you able to get any other children out? Are they hidden somewhere? Are they?
It was an explosion.
Yes, we saw.
Explosion. It was real bad. And then, when things started pouring out, bad things in the common rooms where I was at, where all the kids were. We left me in Mickey's room, right by the alchemy lab. There was an explosion and things started coming through. I do wonder if maybe Fidget might have been involved in that. I don't know. Or maybe they got him. But there was those things coming out.
Things?
What I've heard of, when the city was under attack was coming.
Undead.
Yeah, with those weird snake things crawling on their arms, and they looked dead, they smelled dead, and they pulled themselves out from that hole. And it was all I could do to get out of there.
And that's where we're going to end tonight's session of Learn by Play.
Oh, man. Like the tattoo snakes.
Yeah, the tattoo snakes are back. Whew. Well, my friends, that's what we're going to end today's session. But in fact, I'm going to cut my music because we didn't do our stop in the middle of today's game and do our session. So here at the end is where we're going to do our sort of learn by play aspect, I suppose. So normally what happens when we do this, we're just going to cut at the end and then we'll hang out in a call afterwards and chat about the game, about what we thought about it. But today we're going to kind of do our off-camera chat on camera about what we thought of the session, about what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy about the game and stuff like that. And this part of the show, the learn by play aspect, is about getting critical feedback from players, talking after the sessions what we enjoyed, what we didn't enjoy. It's a great way to gauge how your game's going, what you can change to make certain players enjoy different things more. If someone really wants more combat, or if someone really enjoyed a certain part, we could do more of that. So that's what we're gonna do at the moment. So I don't really want to go round necessarily. Just kind of open the table to discussion. What do we think about tonight's session? Did we enjoy ourselves overall? I guess is the first question. We had fun.
Oh yeah,
For sure. Yeah, always have fun.
What was your guys' favorite bits that you got to do, or favorite moment for the episode?
mine was watching Rufus explain smashing people with stomachs and masks,
Trying to talk to children.
trying to talk to children.
Yeah, I think that, there's something fun about putting your characters in a situation where they have to take care of a group of people versus kill them, because I think there's a lot of the time there's just this attack it, be done with it, move on. But in this case, there's this nurturing thing where we had to move this group of kids, which just adds a new level of tactic and skill-based stuff to the game, which is, I think, for me as a player, is always really wonderful.
Yeah. So you guys enjoyed being teachers on a field trip out of hell.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Yeah, I always like whenever the party starts to level up and you get to see what everybody kind of goes back to is their wheelhouse or their kind of combos that they like to kind of build off of. And that's, for me as a player, I start looking at everybody in the party and I start thinking, oh, I can use, when they do this, I can do that, or I can support them by doing this. And that's when I think a lot of the tactical stuff gets involved, with the rescue operation and, everybody being able to kind of contribute, and especially the thigh oil explosion was perfect. That covered our escape, brought in a narrative element.
Yeah.
but those things all come back from these different little drops and plot points, and that's my favorite thing. So
Yeah, like I know that, like the thigh oil thing is it's a big joke and everything, but like a lot of times, right now, like I didn't really like when I leveled up, I don't really have too much more I can do combat wise just yet because it's all ranged, so I'm not like gonna run up and do anything and the only weapon I have that's ranged is my longbow, and so like I can do some extra attacks. I've got second wind, I've got these cool things and action surge, but it gets kind of boring when all you have is a longbow. So I get bored when every turn I'm like, I shoot it. So I really appreciated that. Like I felt like you could see that I was kind of like, okay, I'm getting bored just firing this longbow over and over again, and sort of gave me the prompt that was like, okay, maybe you need to hide this thing or you need to do that. Like I like being guided in that way where like you can tell that I'm kind of zoning out because I don't really have anything else to do. So you see that and then intercept and give me something else to do. And like I don't feel like you told me what to do. You just were like, you could do this and this and this, because I can tell that you're totally bored doing this over and over again. And so I really appreciated that I got to stop doing this longbow thing over and over again, and I got to throw flaming thigh oil into the sea. That was fun.
I think too. Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, go right ahead. I already talked.
Oh, I was about to say, all I was going to do was kind of, I guess, piggyback off that and say, it's nice to, I guess, to have combat where there are options to do other things than combat, right? Like combat, even though you're in like turn order, doesn't require that you attack every time. Like how many times did we hold turns? Or Rufus's entire turn was run, grab a person and run back. Like I think it's one of the things that makes the storytelling aspect of combat not boring. Like what, like what Sid's talking about.
Absolutely, and to pick up on Sid's point as well, I picked up, it must be a couple of weeks ago now, we had a fight with the spiders, and Farron had tried to do something with a cantrip and an arrow at the same time, and I was like, actually, no, you can't do that, that's an action, and whatnot. In this session, noticing that you didn't, that wasn't fun. This session we had a lot more of interesting and engaging bits of combat, especially focus for Farron, because otherwise as a fighter I find the same thing. I play a fighter as well, and it's like I hit him with a sword, I hit him with a sword, I hit him with a sword. And it does get a bit repetitive and losing cool things to do sometimes. Or running out of ideas myself to think of cool things.
Well, I think even with my little trick with the stones, I'm sure that I mean, it'd have been easy for you to rule that no, I can't give the two other kids stones, but it made a nice narrative element, and it's sort of how it's supposed to work. I'm not sure if you're allowed to just start handing out stones to other NPCs and suddenly basically get extra damage, but but I mean, it was kind of a fun thing, and then now we had this that you brought back later where you were like, I saw Billy kill a man.
Right. Absolutely.
Which I think that's just the big thing of always, you were saying, for the sort of learn by play thing is, listening to each other and trying to don't just keep doing your thing, try to play off the other people's thing. I mean, they did a great job with do I know that that's Miguel? I mean, it's my clone. And so sure enough, I mean, I took an arrow to the knee.
right. Absolutely. So that's the positive side of things. If you guys had to pick a thing that maybe you didn't dislike, maybe that's a strong word, or that you didn't enjoy as much, or you felt like maybe you had a moment where you were like, damn, I wish I had done this better, or I feel like I missed out on an opportunity when I did this, or I felt like I was shut down with a thing I was trying to go for when you said this, Will, and you didn't give me the option to do this, something like that. To look for I don't know, some kind of critical feedback that you'd think could be improved upon next episode, or something like, what, we didn't do a lot of actual combat this episode, I'd love to do more next episode, something like that. It doesn't have to be phrased in a negative light. Throwing it out there.
I was gonna say, I wish the dice would have been a little nicer.
The rolls were better.
I mean, I think that is, well, that's not really a criticism, that's a good thing that you did, is sometimes a failure shouldn't be utter disaster that turns into a TPK. I mean, let's face it, at level 2 there's not a lot of combat options, and Lord knows that performance was horrible. But
Series of failures, yeah.
I mean, just a series of failure after failure after failure. And
But you were allowed to play it. You guys played it awesome the way that you played it off. That was the
the baby
beauty of the
think fast and try to. You gave us a chance to turn it around.
Yeah.
Okay, the crowd's turning against us. Let's really turn them against us, type idea. I mean, to me, I'm not being critical. I'm sorry, Will, because I think
No, please go on.
You got Greg with Zephyr and the pirate, with his pirate backstory, really let that change the whole scenario, and that he played up on it. He knows his backstory. He researched his backstory, and then brought it back in to try to rescue our asses out of absolute disaster. I think that was, it was a great move by both of you. I mean, Greg for having that at his fingertips to do it, and then you not just being like, nope, these guys all hate you. They pull you off the barrel and beat you.
Absolutely. Cool.
Well, see, my thing is like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I don't really have any criticisms really at this time, because last time when we did have this talk, I did talk to you. It might have been after the Zoom call, but I did talk to you, and I was like, I don't want to keep shooting my longbow, but I don't have anything else to do until we level up again. Yeah. So I felt like you really listened to me saying that I want to do something else, and I don't know what. And I know last time, trying to light the arrow on fire and shooting it, it wouldn't work because it would require 2 actions, so it was mechanically not possible. But I understand why that didn't work, but I was disheartened, and I was like, God, then I just can't do anything. I'm bummed.
Absolutely. And I think it's easy as well, as a DM, to get wrapped up in a combat where, you're looking at okay, this person goes next and this person does this action here, but wait, there are rules and I can't do this. So I definitely think it is easy. Anyway, and I consider myself a person that is do whatever, and even, I find myself having to check myself occasionally and be like, hang on a minute, that was not something I would do if I was on my best game, So yeah. Anything else?
I don't know. Yeah, one of the things that I think sometimes is difficult as both a player and a DM, having been on both sides, is giving your players a lot of options. Where do we take the kids? And then we end up spending all of this time trying to decide, because we have 1,000 different places, which means the world is big and wonderful and great. But as players, it becomes difficult sometimes to do we need to save the High Mage? I don't know. She was kind of important, but now we're in chaos. Where are we taking these kids? And you get to that point where prioritization's a thing. And so Will's really great at leading us through prioritization. So I guess I would say a warning to DMs is just to be aware that sometimes if you give too many options or leave it too open, it can actually be detrimental.
Yeah, it's something I was actually thinking about, I think earlier today when I was really tired on the train, how I don't really like to have a super just a sandbox world where just do anything. There isn't really any plot, find plot. So yeah, I feel my games tend to be a little bit more directed than other games. Yeah, that it's not just an open sandbox. I do have a story that I have in mind and stuff like that. But yeah, it's as easy as well as a DM to lose track of exactly what you're up to. There are sometimes where I write 3 or 4 plot lines and I'm like, oh my god, I've got too much going on here. I've got too many factions going on. So at a certain point, another warning, we'd to stop writing, because you can write too much and you forget parts of it. It just gets confusing and too complex. But we're running out of time. Any last things you guys wanted to drop in about the session? All right, perfect.
I would just say on that whole thing of choices, I think there was that one point where I know I was feeling okay, is Will telling us that we need to split the party to go to these multiple places? And I can say that would be my only criticism is, I think all of us, because we're such experienced players, doing the wait a second. The only way to win, the only way to not all die is that we need to go investigate these 3 things before nightfall.
Yeah.
And so that's the other side of that coin is a DM. Sometimes you can make it sound but don't forget you have this thing, and you're like, wink, wink, wait, what? With eyes, wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Understood. Well, my friends, we're going to wrap up now because Heroes Graveyard is on in 3 minutes' time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you got to enjoy watching the after-game talk as well. Probably chat a little bit more afterwards as well. But you get the idea. You know, it's a good idea to just go around the table. What do we enjoy? What can we do differently? And just hear from people what they're feeling about the game. Good time to, you know, air concerns or feelings or, you know, like, or just, yeah, we're having a great time. You know, it's just fun. So, I'd suggest doing that at your table. Yeah, you'll find that your players have more fun, I think, and I find that you'll have more fun, therefore, in return. So, hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop us a follow. We're over on Twitch on Encounter Roleplay. We stream there most days. Dungeons & Dragons, Call of Cthulhu. We're going to be doing some City of Mist, some Star Wars as well. So, check it out. Give us a follow if you enjoyed the show. Let's go round the cast and crew and let's do the same. Do we enjoy ourselves? We can find you guys online and start with Tall Squall.
Yeah, you can find me at Tall Squall on Twitch. That's the best thing to do. It has links to all the other things I do, including a D&D game called The Vice that I DM for at 2 o'clock on Saturdays, right before this one. We run it 100% for charity, and this month's charity is Mr. Holland's Opus, the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation, which supplies instruments to underprivileged kids.
Great stuff. Sydney.
Yes, I'm Sydney, and you can follow me on Twitter at Sydneyak, and you can figure out everything else. But there you go.
Great stuff. Greg.
Yeah, Greg, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter. Had a great time. Can't wait for next week. Wild cards. See you later.
And Chelsea.
Of course, thanks again, you guys, for always dealing with our shenanigans and sticking with us till the end. You can find me online on Twitter at little_red_dot, and you can see all the many things that I do, the podcast and the many shows that I'm a part of there.
Great stuff. Thank you guys again. Thank you to Wizards of the Coast for giving us this opportunity to stream Limbo Play. Every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern, you can tune in for more shenanigans and hopefully pick up some tips and tricks along the way. So if you enjoyed the show, more of it on YouTube, of course. Go back and watch a playlist. We did a previous season on the Tomb of Annihilation, so go and enjoy that. But until next time, my friends, try not to draw too many at once because we ought to be here laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye!